obviously food is a massive part of culture, right? And you've been through the program. You know that one of the things that we preach on is like, you don't need to be a robot, right? You don't need to completely eliminate fun foods and going out to eat and hanging out with friends and doing all that stuff. You can still do all that stuff. It's just if you're going to do it, you have to be tactical about it, right? You need
to which is why I love that you guys discuss and use this all the time, is the 80-20 rule.
Yeah, the 80-20 rule. And it's something that's so simple. It's not groundbreaking, right? Everybody that's been around fitness for a while or followed fitness resources online for a while has heard of the 80-20 principle. You might have even heard of it for like life. And it's not a groundbreaking thing, but it's a thing that when you actually learn how to apply it, it's one of the biggest game changers for our guys outside of just the high protein diet in general. The next biggest thing on nutrition is learning how to do the 80-20 principle effectively. And when you can live like that and you can make sure that 80% of the time you're eating those clean foods and whatnot, you're going to be in a very, very good spot. And you're going to have the freedom and the flexibility to go out and 20% of the time have a little bit more of the fun food, the food that's maybe not so clean, and enjoy those social gatherings, because it's a massive part of culture. That's reality, right? Think about every major holiday. What do? You eat. Hell, on the Super Bowl, which is a major holiday in America, right? You're literally
one of the best, especially when you got two great teams going, the Eagles, and I believe the Chiefs are in it.
Yeah, man, 100%, right? That's why it's fresh on my mind. I'm like, that's next weekend, man. It's fresh on my mind. So, dude, it's one of those things where like we never have told a guy that comes to the program like, you can't eat this kind of stuff.
Right.
It's just you have to do it tactically. You just have to be aware of it, and you have to make sure that you're doing it responsibly. And that's where a lot of people mess it up. They mess up the 80-20 principle because they think 20% of the time means you just do whatever you want and eat as much as you want, and they're completely irresponsible with the 20%. Right. I'm like, well, if you're doing it like that, it's probably more like 60-40, man, right? So you still do have to be tactical and responsible with it when you're doing those things. But yeah, those are the big principles that help our guys nutritionally. It's the high protein diets and it's the 80-20 way of eating.
Yeah. So how many clients do you typically handle in, like, let's say a given week?
In a given week, it depends week to week. I mean, I'd say we typically onboard anywhere from like around an average of 5 to 10 a week is typically how many we onboard. In live capacity, I know right now we're like around 120. So around there for live capacity. Obviously, as we continue to grow here and add more coaches to the staff, you can just hold more and more current clients, right? But yeah, it depends week to week, right? It's ultimately the nature of marketing and the acquisition world and business is some weeks are slower than other weeks, because we don't do like a rolling cohort. I know some companies do a cohort of like, we only take 5 people a week or something. We don't do that. We have open enrollment. That's our marketing model, our acquisition model. But some people do rolling cohorts. We don't. We have open enrollment. So some weeks it could be 3 or 4. Some weeks it could be 7 or 8. We've had as many as 15 in a week, It just kind of depends how things shake out on the acquisition side.
No, that's awesome. It's a lot of lives that you're being able to make an impact in and to really help them regain a lot of that confidence, help them, lose that weight. And I mean, I'm again being part of the program, seeing so many people like losing weight, like 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 4, 5, 10% of body fat, and just feeling so great and actually being able to do something they've never done before. But that's playing with their kids. And that's why I think your program, and that's why I invited you on, is because your program is effective. It really helps a lot of people because it doesn't just tackle, the fitness aspect. It tackles the family. It tackles the mindset and just overall, like, typical things like, what do you see your life down the line? Do you want to be the same way you've been and, be happy with that? And if you are, okay, but do you want to do better? And most people are like, especially in your programs, like, you get people who actually want to do better, who actually are tired of living their life a certain way. So that way they can take responsibility for it. And that begins with your health.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because if you go through it and you've been through it, there's no like direct content on how to improve your relationships or your family life or things like that. There's no content that's directed towards that. It is all directed towards fitness. However, the principles that we teach guys to apply in fitness, they quickly see the parallels in other aspects of their life, whether it be, their wealth or their relationships. I kind of lump life into those buckets of like health, wealth, relationships, right? And so they see it being applied to those other parallels. Even though we taught them it in a fitness capacity, they see that it quickly just transitions to the other stuff too. And they use it in their day-to-day life with their career, with their loved ones, with their kids, with their wives, etc. And it's a nice byproduct of the systems that we have here and the psychological frameworks that we give people. And so it's very fun to see that happen. And it's very fun to see that happen because it's not direct, right? Like I was saying, it's not a direct thing that we teach. We don't directly teach guys how to do parenting or how to do relationships, but they see all these things with default actions applying to those areas as well.
And that's what's so cool about things and about principles and applications. Because if you do one thing in your life, you can easily apply it to another part of your life.